morning. Good morning. Thank you so much, Damola. And good morning, everyone.
Right.
I so great to be here this morning. It's always an opportunity to learn, and as I always say, your Mondays are like a new start, and it's always best to take advantage of them. So before I just get into the thick of it, I would like to say that I want to commend everybody that makes time out of their otherwise busy schedule. And I'm talking of people that have like other that don't work at Landnest, even people that work at Land, like people that do other jobs, very stressful jobs that require their time and energy and their focus, but they still try and multitask and be on this call, right? To learn something new. Because the reality of things is that look, the real estate market is very competitive, and trust me, your competitors are not asleep at 6:30 in the morning. They are not asleep at 7:30 in the morning. And what that means is that if you fail to properly self-develop, what's going to happen is that the money that should be entering your pocket is going to be entering your competitors' pockets, because they are proactive and they are learning and they are self-developing. Now, another reason why education and classes like this are important is because you are in a very crowded market space. Everybody is a real estate agent these days. The people that are qualified, people that are unqualified, the people that do it passively. I know people that have like 9 to 5 jobs, that have like proper jobs, and they still do real estate on the side. What that means is that you're in competition with people that are not even full-time agents. Somebody could be working in a bank, working in, I don't know, working as a tailor, working as a carpenter, and they are still doing real estate on the side. It means that the competition is very stiff. But what separates people is education. When you properly self-develop, when you actually know your onions, when you actually know how things are properly done, it actually separates you from the crowd. So classes like this are very important, because outside of the fact that you're learning something new, it helps you to separate yourself from the crowd. Because the truth is that when people work with an agent that is unskilled, an agent that is not properly grilled, in matters regarding real estate, and they work with somebody that actually knows what they do, they would actually want to go with you, because people feel safer with people that are knowledgeable, with people that seem like they know the back end of any business. So please, as much as you can, even though I know that sleep is very sweet and sometimes I struggle to get out of bed myself. But if you are serious about making money, if you are serious about self-development, and if otherwise you are just somebody that is interested in self-discipline, it's best to get up as early as you can. It's once a week. Trust me. And it's usually just for like 45 minutes or 1 hour. You learn so much. So let me just get into the thick of it. So today I'm going to be talking about certain things that help you, function better. And the whole idea of this is about trying to create systems that actually work. So one of the mistakes I used to make when I first started out as an agent a couple of years ago, let's say 9, 10 years ago. Don't worry, I'm not that old, but a couple of years ago when I started out, I didn't really have systems to, um, make things happen. I was the type of guy that just used to wing it. And I used to treat every customer as they come. But the reality of things is that you cannot do that. You cannot just wing it. You cannot just treat every customer as they come. You need to have systems, right, that help you sort customers out. You need to have systems. You need to have a framework. In fact, this is an entirely different conversation. But if you are going to get on a call with a customer, you need to have a script that you follow, right? So that it makes you help you organize your thoughts better. It makes you have like a trademark for how you treat customers. It makes you have like an identity as a salesperson. So it doesn't make sense for you to treat every customer as they come. Oh, I have a lead today, let me just start talking to them. No, you need to sit back and have like a framework that you use to deal with every single customer that comes into your pipeline. And then that now leads you to the question that why do some salespeople struggle every month while others close consistently? Now, the truth is that sometimes we think it's luck. Sometimes we think it is coincidence. Sometimes we think that other people are just, they happen to be in the right place at the right time. But the truth is that if somebody has created a system that helps them sell, and you just wing it every single day, the person is going to outsell you 100% of the time. Now, sales problems are really talent problems. They are pipeline problems. And pipeline problems come from three things: weak prospecting, poor referral discipline, and bad data management, which is the basis of this class. Today, we'll be talking about certain things. And the first thing we're talking about today is prospecting. The second thing we'll be talking about today is referral discipline. And the third thing we'll be talking about today is database management. Now, this prospecting thing is something that most people, for a lack of better word, suck at, and they suck at it because they are conscious about it. We need to see prospecting as a lifestyle. You need to understand that being a salesperson is not something, it's not a job that you do. Being a salesperson is a lifestyle. It means that you have to infuse selling, and marketing into your day-to-day activity. I'll go over it again. Prospecting is not, sales is not something you do on the side. When they say, when you are talking about your job, don't talk about your job as something that is separate from you. Don't say that, oh, I have a job as sales. No, you are a salesperson, meaning that sales is part of your lifestyle, meaning that every conversation should be an opportunity to prospect. Every conversation, I'll go over it again, please. Every conversation should be an opportunity to prospect. Now, the reason why it's difficult for most people is that they are conscious about it and they go into a conversation, try to sell something to somebody. And sometimes the reason why prospecting is difficult for most of us is because we really don't see the value in what we do. Now, very quickly, I'm going to be telling us what prospecting is. Prospecting is intentionally creating new sales conversations daily. That's the summary of it. Intentionally creating new sales conversations daily. Now, there's a reason why prospecting and networking is difficult for most salespeople. And the reason why it is difficult is because you need to see prospecting or networking as let's look at it as a scenario where two people want to exchange gifts and one person shows up empty-handed. The person that shows up empty-handed is going to feel inferior to the person that has a gift. My point is, you need to see the value in what you do. You need to actually believe within yourself that what you are selling is actually of value and what you are selling is important. Everything after that is going to be very easy. When you're trying to network with somebody, you're trying to prospect with somebody, if you are coming from the mindset of what you want to get, it's always very difficult to prospect. You need to come from the mindset of what you want to give. So my point is, as a salesperson, the first thing you need to do before you even think about prospecting is understand the value in what you do. Know exactly what real estate gives to people. Know that what you are doing is valuable. Know that you are giving something of value in exchange, so that when you are trying to prospect somebody, you don't feel inferior. So it's just like if you have something valuable to give somebody, you are excited about telling them about it. You are not shy about telling them about it. It's easier to face rejection because think about it. You know what you're about to exchange with the person is of value. So prospecting is much, much easier when we do two things. Number one, when we infuse it into our lifestyle. Sales is not something that you do on the weekdays and switch off on the weekends. Every conversation in your head should be a conversation to be able to sell to this person. Now, the second thing is that prospecting is easier. Prospecting is much more comfortable. Prospecting is not awkward when you understand that what you're about to give the person in exchange is something of value. So now I'm talking about the five things about prospecting framework, a 5-part prospecting framework, which can help you, which can guide you, whenever it is that you want to prospect, to make it easier and less awkward for you. So now, quick one. Am I audible enough? Can everybody hear me very clearly? Before I go ahead with the conversation, if you can, please just send me an emoji so I know that you can hear me and I'm communicating with somebody. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you so much. So now, the first part is the volume rule. Now, volume rule is practically that, look, let's even assume that there are two salespeople and one person has all the sales skills in the world, but they don't have any traffic. And the other person does not know anything about sales, but they're talking to 50 people every day. The person that is talking to 50 people every day is going to close before the person that has all the sales skills in the world. It is just simple math. It is a volume game. You need to talk to as many people as possible. In fact, sometimes, like, because I consume a lot of sales content on Instagram and Facebook and all that, and what all those teachers or mentors or tutors have in common is that they always tell you that, look, it is a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the higher the opportunity that come your way. So if one salesperson is talking to 3 people a day and the other salesperson is talking to 30 people a day. The person that's talking to more people will close more. It is a numbers game. So understand that if you're trying to prospect, understand that numbers is very important. Numbers is very important. You need to talk to as many people as possible. So if you need 3 closes and you close 1 out of 10 serious conversations, it means that you need 30 serious conversations every single day. So if out of 10 people you're able to close 1, it means that to close 3 people you have to talk to 30 people. Simple as that. So understand that it is a numbers game. You need to be conscious about the fact that you need to talk to as many people as possible every day. So increase the numbers. If you're talking to 2 people every day, increase the number to 5. We have 24 hours a day. As for those of us that work as full-time salespeople, if you work a 9 to 5, it means that your work hours are about 8 or 9 hours. Most of the 80% of what you should be doing in the office is prospecting, trying to talk to new people, trying to open new conversations. So understand that the first thing about prospecting is that it is a numbers game. Now, the second thing is that you need to have a prospecting bucket. Now, what a prospecting bucket means is that, as I said earlier, you need to have a system, right, that helps you to filter people out. So if you are the Landnest Academy that we conducted last year, I spoke about the 3 different types of clients, which is the cold client, the warm client, and the hot client. So because of time, I'll go the process. So you will demarcate people. Miriam,
Hello, sir.
you could not hear me. When did you lose me, please? What was the last thing that you heard?
The 3 type of clients: cold, warm, and hot.
Okay,
Yes.
very well. Well, very well. Thank you, Joshua. So I'll go over it again. So I spoke about how, if you are the Landnest Academy last year, I spoke about the 3 types of clients, which are the cold clients, the warm clients, and the hot clients. And I said very quickly, I'm going to go over it. So can you hear me audibly now, sir? Am I audible now?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So I said I'll quickly do like a brief overview about them. Now, a cold client is a client that they've never heard about you before. They've never heard about your product before. They are hearing about you for the first time. It means that they don't know you from scratch. Now, a warm client is a client that has the resources to buy your product. And this person might not necessarily be in the market for your product right now, but it's your job as a salesperson to close this person, to close them, to make them buy. Now, there's a hot prospect. Now, these are the prospects that are in the market for your product right now. And I said, for example, if in the city of Ibadan, there's somebody out there with 5 million naira looking to buy a shop to expand their business, that person is a hot prospect. So you need to understand that when you're prospecting, you need to have a prospecting bucket. A prospecting bucket is practically when you sort out your different clients based on where they are on that temperature. And that's, I mean, I'm referring to temperature, I mean cold, warm, or hot. Now, when you're talking to somebody, you need to be able to demarcate them and say, okay, this person is a cold prospect because they've never heard about me before. They're hearing about me from the first time. I did not get them from referral. That person is cold. It means that over time you have to warm them up with information. You need to be able to demarcate your different clients based on the temperature that they currently are. So you can't be talking to everybody as though they're ready to buy tomorrow. Some clients are ready to buy tomorrow. Some clients are ready to buy, next year. So clients will be ready to buy in 2 years. So clients will never buy. So you need to understand that the conversations that you have to be informed, knowing exactly who you are talking to, so you can know exactly how to talk to them. If you are talking to a hot prospect today, the conversation should be around closing the deal. If you are talking to a cold prospect today, the conversation should be around giving them information that can make them comfortable enough to buy. You cannot be talking to somebody that is ready to buy a shop today like somebody that does not know anything about real estate. So if somebody is a newbie in real estate, they've never invested before, they don't know about your product, you cannot be conversing with them like they should buy today. Your job at that point in time is to give them enough information so that they can be comfortable enough to come to that buy decision by themselves. So a hot prospect is going to, you'll be having a different conversation with a hot prospect than you'll be having with a cold prospect. Do you understand that? Hello, am I audible enough? Are you with me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Okay, good. So as I said earlier, in conclusion, understand that you're going to be having a different conversation with a hot prospect than you will be having with a cold prospect. Now, the third thing is a daily prospecting minimum. It is also like a numbers game. As I said earlier, understand that you need to generate as many possibilities as possible. You have to understand that the more people you talk to, the higher the probability of you selling something. You cannot outsell somebody that reaches out to more people than you, and thankfully there are so many platforms for you to amplify your reach. For example, there are social media platforms, there are Instagram ads, there are Google ads, there are LinkedIn ads. What these things practically do for you is to increase your number of reach. Physically, you cannot talk to 100 people in a day, but what social media does for you and social media ads is that it gives you an opportunity for you to amplify your voice, for you to talk to more people a day. So as I said earlier, have a daily prospecting minimum. You have to have a system. And as I said earlier, look, you cannot be winging it every single day as it comes. You need to create systems. If you are talking to somebody on the phone, you need to have a sales script. You cannot just be winging it as it comes. Have a sales script. Have a daily prospecting minimum. Give yourself targets. Today, I'm going to talk to 25 people, 30 people this week. That means I have to talk to at least 5 people every day. You need to have a daily prospecting minimum and hold yourself, accountable. Hold yourself to the promises that you make to yourself. Now, the other thing is about the fourth thing about prospecting is to have a multi-channel approach. A multi-channel approach. Now, for example, we have WhatsApp, we have Instagram DMs, we have phone calls, we have physical networking, we have events, we have existing clients. Now, these are all prospecting platforms, and I'm of the opinion that there are different platforms for different approaches, meaning that if you are looking to get more cold leads, you are more likely to get them on Instagram as opposed to WhatsApp, because people in your WhatsApp contact are already people that you know, people that you can warm up over time. So you need to have a framework. Like the people that are reaching out to on Instagram for the first time, they are cold clients. So your system should be, look, I'm talking to this person on Instagram today. I'm meeting them for the first time. I check their profile. I said, this person travels a lot. This person talks about business and investments. This person looks like they have the resources to buy my product. Now, your framework, your state of mind should be, look, I'm going to try and drag this person from Instagram, which is like a general social media platform, to WhatsApp. Now, WhatsApp is more personal because you can have them save your number. You can feed them information over time. So your job is to take somebody from WhatsApp, which is more like a general platform, and then bring them into your own personal system, which is your WhatsApp, WhatsApp page or WhatsApp profile. Now, most of us don't understand how powerful WhatsApp can be. The truth is that WhatsApp exposes people to you every single day. You can influence people over time on WhatsApp. You cannot really do that on Instagram because they can decide not to check your profile or they might not see your feed. But if you can take somebody from Instagram, for example, and bring them to WhatsApp, now your WhatsApp platform should practically be a place where you groom your clients. All the things flying on your WhatsApp story should be things regarding real estate, information over time. Now, people are exposed to this information every single day. You can quickly turn somebody from a very cold client to a very hot client in the space of 3 months if you post the right things every single day. So you need to understand that your WhatsApp status or your WhatsApp business should be like an incubation process for your potential buyers. It should be a place where they receive so much information about real estate that they cannot say they did not see it. They cannot say they did not hear it. Your job is to warm people up. Take somebody from Instagram, which is like a general platform, try and drag them into your own system, which is your WhatsApp, and feed them as much information as possible so that they can maybe reach a buying decision in the future. And one thing I also want us to understand is that, look, you cannot really short-circuit the process. I understand that we are salespeople and we have sales targets, but people, you need time to get people to make a decision. And most times you need a reasonable amount of time to ensure that somebody dips their hand in their pocket and makes a buying decision. So understand that your WhatsApp is, as I said earlier, an incubation process where you expose people to information over time so that maybe sometime in the future they can reach a buying decision by themselves. Now, the fifth one is your follow-up power. The fifth one is your follow-up power. Your follow-up power. Now, understand that most people are not going to reach a buy decision on the first instance. Most people need time. And you might have heard this so many times, but I'm still going to say it again. Real estate is a low trust environment. In fact, most of the conversation, because I run a lot of ads, and most times when people enter the pipeline, the first thing they say is, oh, look. In fact, I had a lady that said, look, I've been scammed before. That was the first thing she said. Before she even said good morning or good afternoon, she said, I've been scammed before. What that tells you is that, look, real estate is a low trust environment. People don't trust you, right? And you cannot blame them. People have social media. They see what happens to people that invest in real estate in Nigeria. People have friends that have invested in real estate recently and very bad things happen to them. It means that the person that does not trust you is generally not going to buy on the first instance. So it's your job as a salesperson to know that, look, I'm going to hold this person by the hand until they can make that buying decision. So think about it like this. Your job as a salesperson is to help somebody, right? Not to get a commission out of them. You need to see people as, you need to see your clients as somebody you're trying to help, not somebody you're trying to get money from. So this thing informs a lot of things about you. It means that your job as a salesperson is not to force a product down somebody's throat. Your job as a salesperson is to give people enough information so that they can come to a buying decision by themselves. I'll go over it again. Your job as a salesperson is not to say, hey, you must buy this thing. Your job as a salesperson is to do this. Give people enough information, hold them by the hand, and so maybe sometime in the future they can reach a buying decision by themselves. Emphasis on by themselves. You understand? Because you cannot really force somebody to do anything. No matter how good a salesperson you are, if somebody does not trust you and you've not built enough trust over time, it's going to be practically impossible to make them reach a buying decision. So most times the reason why we flunk the deal or we don't close the deal is because we are too hurried about it. We need to understand that our prospects are just hoping that, look, this person can take me by the hand and take me to where I want to go, but it has to be my decision. Most people like to buy, but they want it to be like, they don't like to be sold to. So they want it to be like it was them that made their decision. So your job as a salesperson is to plant so many ideas, give the person so much information. So with that information, they can reach a buying decision by themselves. Now, the follow-up power is practically is that the first follow-up should be between 24 to 48 hours. The second follow-up should be between 3 to 4 days later. The third one should be 1 week later. And then if they don't respond, you can now keep reminding them on a weekly basis or every 2 weeks until they make a buying decision. Now, the first follow-up should be 24 hours to 48 hours later. The second follow-up should be at least 3 to 4 days later. And the third one should be at least 1 week later. Now, the thing about following up is that it can be a very dicey situation. And I know I've been there. At a point, you start doubting your self-worth when your client goes to like 3 weeks or 4 weeks in a row. But you need to understand that there are certain ways that make follow-up important. And I'll give you guys a very quick story about how follow-up helped me to close the deal. So in December, I was able to do I was able to do platinum in OMM. I sold one shop space, and this was somebody I met. He was a doctor. He works at Evercare. Evercare is a very big hospital in Lagos. So at a point, I wasn't feeling too good around November last year, and I had to go to the hospital. So I got to the hospital and I met the doctor. Right, his name is Mr. Adedamola, and we just kicked it off. We're talking about football, random things, and before you know, we start talking about real estate. And I told him that, oh, look, I actually do real estate full time. He's like, where's your company? All of that. I say, oh, we have our head office in Ibadan, and we have a branch in Lagos and all that. We're looking to expand and yada yada yada. And he was like, okay, no problem. So from time to time, I just call him and we talk on the phone. So I pitched OMM to him because he's a doctor in Lagos, but he actually stays in Ogun State. But he was thinking about opening like a blood transfusion center in Ibadan. And he was like, oh, today I'm thinking about buying a shop, but I have a couple of investments here and there, blah, 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 blah. but this is your shop space. You guys have not even really done a lot of work there. And I was trying to convince him about, oh, look, it is an off-plan project. The reason why is this affordable is because you are buying now. If you wait until it's completed, you probably have to pay more and all that. And I was following up every other week, every 2 or 3 days. And bear in mind that this person is a doctor, so he's probably not. He replies to messages 2 or 3 days after because he's very occupied. So at a point, I was like, today you cannot really keep telling this person every day that they should come and buy. So I had to take another approach, and that approach was that I never ever followed up except I had something important to say. So it's difficult to follow up when you just say, oh, hey, hi, good afternoon, I'm just following up. It is easier to follow up when you actually have something to say. So what I did was this: I never really sent any follow-up messages until except I had something important to say. Now, what is something important? For example, if I go to site and even if they've just laid another row of blocks on the site, I call him and say, Mr. Didam, I'm on site today, and I just thought to remind you about the project that you said you wanted to buy. Look, today we just did the foundation. The thing has gone up another level. In fact, 2 or 3 clients came to inspect today, and no pressure, but I just want you to see the level of work that's going on here. And trust me, you don't have to make a decision right now. I know you're very busy, but when you have time during your shifts, just look at the video I sent you about the work that's going on at Women. When I go to Ibadan again, probably like a couple of days later, if something new happens on site again, I tell him. So that way, it's not like I'm chasing him around to close the deal, right? I'm actually just telling you that, hey, big man, this is exactly what is going on here. And it is, you're simultaneously telling the person that, yo, you said you're going to invest, but you are giving value, right? You're giving them information about what is going on. So it is easier to follow up with information as opposed to, you said you get back to me last week, you did not get back. Price change is a way to follow up with real value. Oh, we're having a price change in about 2 or 3 days. I just thought to remind you so you don't have to pay more when you could have paid less. These are the ways to properly follow up. Most of us struggle with follow up because at the point, clients think we're annoying every single day. You said you called me yesterday, you did not call me. They did not forget, they just did not want to call you. So if you want to properly follow up with somebody, understand that it is best to follow up with information, to follow up with value, as opposed to say, oh, good afternoon, Mr. Femi, I am just following up. Okay, they're just going to ignore you. But if you follow up with real value, they might ignore you, but guess what? You've been able to deliver value in the process. Now, the second thing we're talking about today is referral discipline, right? Referral discipline. As I said earlier, you need to have a system around things. And what systems help you to do is that they help you stay tidy, they help you stay clean, they help you, have a trademark. So if you are dealing with every single client, what you want to do is that you need to have a system so that you can have like an identity that clients can associate with you. So if you have a framework of answering clients on time, you now have an identity of quick responses, and that's what clients will associate with you. But if you don't have a framework, you don't have a system, you are treating clients as they come, it's going to be very difficult to create an impression, on a particular client or on a group of clients that you've been able to, generate over time. Now, most salespeople, they hope for referrals, but they don't have designs for them. Now, referrals matter because they help to build trust easier. They help people to make faster decisions. They lower resistance and they have a higher closing rate. Now, referral products close 3 to 5 times faster. Now, referrals are crazy because, as I said earlier, referrals are real estate, as I said earlier, sorry, is a low trust environment. And what a low trust environment means is that people don't really trust people that sell real estate. They feel like, oh, you're trying to sell them something. They feel like you're about to lie. They feel like, oh, if I buy this thing today now, I'm probably going to get in trouble in 10, 15 years. In fact, even further emphasize, during our inspection on Saturday, our allocation on Saturday, I actually had a client that asked that, look, what if I buy this property now and Landnest is not existing in 20 years? What am I going to do? Right? And that person was thinking in 20 years from now, because he's like, well, it's not like I don't trust you guys, but you guys are not. What if you guys are not here in 20 years? How do I go about that? And the answer was very simple. Look, what are you holding in your hand? And he said, oh, this is my summary I did of assignment. It means that this land is practically your own. for as long as you live. You understand? We've done a transfer of ownership from ourselves to you. Outside of that, Landnest is just going to help you with probably development and ensuring that this whole estate is, properly developed, is safe and is secure and all of that. But understand that this thing you're holding in your hand today, your survey, which is showing you exactly where your own property is mapped at, and your deed of assignment, which is practically a legal transfer of ownership. This land is your own. Don't worry about Landnest again. You don't have anything to worry about. In fact, the ownership of this land does not even belong to Landnest anymore. It now belongs to you. So 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, regardless of the status of Landnest, even though I know that we'll still be here, we'll still be in business, we'll still be operational, understand that the land is now your own. So a client is buying a property today, but they're thinking about 20 years from now. It means that it's a low trust society, because if that same person buys an iPhone today and the phone is in their pocket, they'll be asking Apple about, oh, what if this phone does not exist in 20 years? The phone is literally in their pocket. It is within their grasp. So since you cannot physically take a land from where it is located to your house, there are always going to be questions about trust. Because the person is in Lagos, the property is in Ibadan, anything can happen. So understand that referrals are important, because real estate is a low trust environment. Nobody's trusting everybody. Everybody is scared. So referrals actually help us close faster, because you can leverage on the trust that the person that gave the referral has. So think about something like this. If your pastor tells you to go to a particular restaurant and to go and eat there, you find it comfortable to eat there. You'll not scrutinize them so much. Why? Because you trust your pastor. It means that that restaurant is actually leveraging on the trust that you have for your pastor. That's exactly how it is in real estate. Understand that if you trust somebody and they refer something to you, it is easier for you to buy the product, because it's not because of the person selling now, it's because of the trust you have for the person that referred them. Now, because of our time, I'll quickly skip past referrals. Now, the first thing, you need to have a referral discipline framework. The first thing is to ask every client after they pay, after site inspection, after allocation, after any positive feedback. So if you have a client or a prospect today that is, buys from you, that says something positive about you, then the conversation should be in the direction of, oh, do you have anybody else that you'd like to enjoy this type of experience? So if somebody buys from you, they send you a sales receipt, they say something positive about your brand, the conversation should not be, oh, do you know anybody else that you'd like to enjoy this service that you just enjoyed? So think about it like this. When somebody says something positive about you, when somebody comes for allocation, when somebody comes from site inspection, it is an opportunity for you to get a referral from them, on the condition that the service was good. So if somebody buys from you today or comes for allocation, the conversation should be in the direction of, do you have anybody else that might be interested in what we are selling? That's the first thing. You should ask every single client. Now, the second thing is to ask at an emotional peak. An emotional peak is practically when, after somebody says thank you, after somebody says, oh, I've seen the payment confirmation, after you send a progressive video, it means that people are emotional people, and we tend to make decisions when we are at our highest emotional state. So, for example, if you render a service to somebody and they like the service, at the point where they like the service, they are their emotional peak. So, for example, if somebody is abroad and you DHL their documents to them, the moment they get their documents in their hands, and they say, thank you so much. I didn't know that this was real low. I didn't even know that Nigerian real estate companies can be trusted. That's the moment where you can say, thank you very much. In fact, that's exactly how we operate. You have a track record of success and delivering on time. Do you have anybody that is in the UK that wants to also buy real estate too? Maybe we can also help them get the same experience that you've got. They're at an emotional peak. It means that you have to understand that when people are at an emotional peak, it is easier for them to make buying decisions or any type of decisions. It's why most people make decisions when they're angry or when they're happy. They might later regret it, but it means that they already made decision good as that. So ask for things at an emotional peak. Now, the third thing is to make it easy. Make it easy for them to give you a referral. So instead of saying, oh, can you help me tell the person to call me to just in case they're interested, make it easier for your client. You need to make the process as seamless as possible. Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Kola. Yesterday we spoke about you referring Mr. Femi to me. I understand that you are busy, you have a very busy schedule, and I honestly do not want to get in the way of that. Is it okay if you send me Mr. Femi's number so I can just take the work off your hands and make the connection by myself? So make it easier for them to make the referral happen. Don't make it like a 10-step, 20-step process. This is not rocket science. Make it as easy as possible for a client to, refer you to somebody. Don't make it complicated. They're already doing you a favor. It should be as seamless as possible. Now, The fourth thing is to track referral sources, right? It means that you practically have to keep a track record of people that referred you, who referred who, which clients brings more referrals. Now, what that actually does is that it helps you to properly, thank people that actually contribute to your business. Now, whether you like it or not, if a client refers somebody to you, they've contributed to your business, and you have to track that that person so that in the future good things can happen. And as Dr. Shola will always say, look, your commission is not for you alone. In fact, Dr. Efe also even always says it too. Your commission is not for you alone. Your commission is not for you. Your commission is not for spending alone. If somebody refers somebody to you, the least you can do is to ensure that you say thank you, buy a small gift. During Christmas time, when you're buying hampers for people, remember them. Even clients that have bought from me 5 years ago from companies that don't even work for anymore, I still ensure that during Christmas, I extend a hand of gratitude to them. So track people that refer you. Most of us think that we are smart. We get a referral from somebody, we close the deal, we forget about the person that referred us. Gratitude is the good you have to engage in order for good to continue. What that means is that if you are continuously gracious towards somebody and you show gratitude, it enables the person to do even more for you. Even as Christians, it is written that look, when you do thanksgiving, God is actually inspired to do more for you. Even God appreciates gratitude. Talk less of human beings. So when somebody does something that is good to you, somebody refers you to somebody, you make 1 million and 500,000, even if it's 10,000 naira from a referral, you are obligated to say thank you. And most times we lose track of it because we don't track it. So when somebody gives you a referral, when somebody says, look, do business with Oyinda Mola, do business with Mr. Somidi, do business with Blessed, do business with Joshua, do business with Beauty, do business with Omorem, it means that, look, this person has done you a favor and you are obligated to say thank you in the best possible way. But you cannot do that if you don't track the referral. So it is in your best interest to track referral. Know the people that have invested into your business, either directly or indirectly, and ensure you do a proper thank you. Now, the last one is a referral follow-up script. Now, if they promise to send you a referral, but they don't, you need to follow up, right? You could say something like, oh, you mentioned somebody might be interested. Should I expect an introduction? So it means that you also have to have a script. All these things I'm talking about today, they circle around having a system, having a framework of operations. You cannot wing every single client as they come. You cannot just assume that, oh, anytime a client reaches out, I'm just going to know what to say. I've been doing this for a long time. Even me, I've been doing it for quite some time, but I still have a script that I follow. And sometimes I still lose track of the script, but I still always go back to it. So understand that you need to also have a framework of responses to potential referrals when they don't come. Remind them that they said they're going to refer somebody to you and ensure that you get that referral out of them. Now we have about 12 minutes more, so I'm just going to talk about database management, right? Which is the last thing we're going to talk about today. Now, database management is what separates professionals from amateurs. Now, your database is practically your future income. It is not about saved numbers, it is about categorized opportunities. Now, there's a basic database structure, right? And you need to categorize them into new leads, warm leads, hot leads, closed leads, past clients, referrals, and dead leads. I'll go over it again. You need to have like a database structure, right? And in this database structure, you record new leads. New leads are practically people that you just reached out to them. You've probably not made contact with them. As I said earlier, warm leads. Warm leads are practically your potential clients that have the resources to buy your product, but they need a little convincing. So if somebody is used to investing in Forex, they're used to investing in Bitcoin, they're used to investing in gold, but they've never bought real estate before, that person is a warm lead because they have the resources. And it's your job as a salesperson to use the skills that you've acquired over time to ensure that you close the lead, to ensure that you close the deal. Now, your hot leads are, as I said earlier, people that are in the market to buy your product right now. So if there's somebody in Bodija or there's somebody in Challenge with 5 million naira in their bank account looking to expand their business by owning a physical shop, that person is a hot lead, right? Close clients, these are people that you closed before, your past clients, your referrals, and all that. So you need to have like a database structure where you categorize all these people. Now, for every single lead that you have, you need to note down their name, their location, their budget, and their interest. So, of course, you write the person's name down, you write their budget, how much they're willing to spend, how much they're looking at investing. You write their budget and then their interest type. Then you also need to have a follow-up calendar system. You should never rely on your memory. So there are a lot of platforms that you can use to properly categorize your potential clients. And one of those things is like your Google Calendar. There's Google Calendar, there are reminder apps, there's CRM, and you can even use your notepad. But thankfully, the good thing about WhatsApp Business is that you can literally categorize your different customers on WhatsApp Business. So you could just, have a little chat with ChatGPT and to tell you exactly how to maximize the potential of your WhatsApp business. Most people don't even know you can even run WhatsApp ads. Most people don't know that you can have a system that helps you, retain customers with just WhatsApp Business. CRM might be a little complicated because it is paid and it is difficult to navigate. But trust me, it is easier to use your WhatsApp Business to just, properly categorize leads. Now, I'm going to end this with a few summary points. Now, the truth is that if you're able to master daily prospecting, you're able to have like referral discipline, and you're able to have like a database control, you're going to increase your input, over the next couple of weeks and next couple of months. It is important to have proper structure. Now, prospecting, as I said earlier, for those of you that, probably for one reason or the other joined the class late, I was talking about how you cannot really separate your job from you. You need to understand, you need to leave the job. Leave, L-E-A-V-E, please, by all means. I mean that you need to, L-I-V-E, Jesus Christ. You need to infuse sales, right, into your day-to-day activity. Sales is not something that you do on the side. Sales is something that you do as a lifestyle. You should infuse selling into who you are. Every conversation, everybody you're talking to is a potential client. And the thing is that most times we have a way of sizing people up as salespeople and thinking that they cannot afford a certain product or a certain item that we're selling. But you need to understand how sales might work more often than not. If you see somebody today and they might not look like they can buy, it's very unfortunate for you and irresponsible of you to not treat the person with honor or not address them as a potential buyer. Because if somebody cannot buy, they might be able to know somebody that can buy. Right? So outside of the fact that the decent thing as a human being is to treat everybody and accord everybody with respect, if you treat people just exactly how you see them, you'll be losing a lot of potential clients. Because if you're nice to people and you treat them well, you treat them with respect, there's a tendency that even if they might not have the financial capacity to help you to buy OMM or B for sure, they might know somebody that can buy. And you might be sizing people up based on appearances alone, which is very, very wrong. So next time you see somebody that has the potential, that doesn't have the potential to buy your product, it will be a disservice for you to now treat them with disrespect or disdain because you feel like they cannot buy your product. Somebody that cannot buy your product today might know somebody that will be able to buy the product tomorrow. So these are the final summary points, right? The first thing is that activity creates opportunity. The second thing is that referrals multiply trust. The third thing is that database control equals income control. The fourth thing is that follow-up is leadership. And the last thing is that sales is a system and sales is not vibes. So with that, we've come to the end of our class, and it will be very nice if you guys give me a round of applause. Thank you very much. That was a fantastic class, if you ask me. So I'm going to leave the ground open for, one or two questions. In case you want to ask a question, there's something you're unsure about. So we could, just start our days in Monday. I'm sure we have a lot of things to do. So I'm seeing somebody's raising their hand. So Mr. Modibo, apologies if I did not pronounce your name properly, and Mr. Christian. So those will be two questions I'm taking for the day. So Mr.
Morning, sir.
Modibo, apologies
you
again
murdered
if I'm
the
not
name,
properly
but it's
pronouncing
fine.
your name. Sorry?
You murdered the name, but it's fine.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I say
Try
that's
not
fine.
to.
That's fine.
Okay, that's
All right.
fantastic. So very quickly.
Yeah, thank
Yes.
you for the really amazing session, and sincerely,
Yes. You're
I
welcome.
got a lot of value. So my question
You're
would
welcome.
be,
You're welcome.
real estate is a really, like you mentioned, is a low trust industry.
Environment, yes, it is.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the thing now is, what would you say would be the best way to prospect, like in a physical form, Like, how is one able to like find a system, like you mentioned? How is one able to create a system where, okay, I know I want to daily prospect, or however, I have a job which I have to show up for, but I still also don't want to leave my real estate career, in the shadows. So how am I able to create a system where I know, okay, at least in a day I can speak to at least minimum of say 5 to 10 people? That would be my question. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Modibo, I promise you that's the last time I'm murdering your name.
Don't worry, you
But
can just call me Mo, sir. Thank you, sir.
okay, that's fantastic. So, Mr. Okay, yes, let me just say, okay, first things first is number one. It now depends. First thing is it depends on the nature of your job. Does your job allow you to meet people every single day? If you don't mind sharing, what do you do outside of real estate?
I think that's the interesting part. I'm actually a sales executive. I'm currently working with Airtel. So I think I also have the leverage of meeting people, but
Exactly. So what exactly is the challenge? Is the challenge um how to what to say when you actually, because I mean, if you work with Airtel, I'm sure your office is crawling with people on a daily basis, and the problem is probably not potential leads. The problem is probably how to go about conversing with them. Am I
okay.
am I wrong?
Okay, so
Okay,
the
so
thing now is, I don't really say it's the problem. The thing now is kind of like, I don't want it to be like, oh, okay, you are selling this one, you are selling that one. Which specifically are you selling?
okay,
So
okay.
basically, that's just what I'm trying to conquer, sir.
Well, what I'll just say is this: the first thing is that you need to ease into it, right? So the first thing is to build an informal relationship first. So if you are trying to prospect somebody, it's best to not be direct. The first thing about prospecting is that it's easier for a friend to buy from you than a stranger to buy from you. So what that means is that the first thing you need to do is to find a way to ease into it and befriend them first. You don't have to be aggressive with your sales approach. Just see it as an opportunity to meet somebody new, and whether sales happens or not, you're 100% fine with it. So understand your approach should not be, oh, this is somebody I want to sell to. Your approach should be, I'm trying to make a friend, and let the sales happen in between the conversations that you guys have on a daily basis. As I said earlier, number one is a low trust environment. Number two, you don't want to come as somebody that's just selling everything and lacks no direction. So take the approach like, look, I'm trying to meet a friend, and if a sale comes in between that friendship, then fine. So don't have the mindset of, oh, this person has walked into the shop, they might be able to buy the product. No, just see it as, oh, I'm talking to somebody that I want to be friends with, and in the middle of that conversation, I'm going to suggest that I sell real estate and try and navigate the conversation from there. So I think part of the problem is the fact that you are very direct, or you're thinking about making the sale. Forget about the sale for a second. Think about it as an opportunity to make a friend. Every other thing just sort itself out from there. I hope that makes sense, sir.
I'm really grateful for that input, sir. And I think just
Yeah,
to
try it.
reiterate
Try
the
it.
point.
Yeah, try
Your
it.
what my major takeaway is, it's the to try to make friends and not
Yeah,
to just make it feel salesy. Thank you very much. Really
yeah,
appreciate.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And to also double down on that, we need to see our clients as people that we want to help, right? Your job as a salesperson is to help people reach a desired point. You think about it like literally having like a friend. You want them to make the best possible decision, right? So that's how you should see your clients: an opportunity to help somebody out, not an opportunity to get a commission. Mr. Peter, I can see you raising your hand very quickly because
Yes,
we're supposed to end this class at 7:30. Yes,
thank you so much.
you're
So
welcome.
I
You're
wanted to
welcome,
say
Mr.
that,
Peter.
how do you handle a case where you have a client that
Yeah.
has already told you, I'm filling the form, I'm about to buy, and then after like 2 days, I'm not buying again? Definitely, like you said, they still fall into a category of a type of client, so they
Mhm.
can still buy later, right? So
Yes,
how do
yes.
you handle that situation to still maximize the relationship and the opportunity?
Okay, Mr. Peter, very quickly. And were you at the last Landnest Academy? We had it last year. Were you
Yes,
present?
yes, I was online and physically.
Good, perfect. So I'm going to say something I said last year, and if you're in one of the classes, you're going to remember. I was talking about objections, and I was talking about how people lie. So, for example, human beings lie, and you need to have that at the back of your mind as a salesperson and know that it's possible for your clients to lie to you. And what I mean by that is that somebody can say the objection is money. An objection of money means that, oh, I cannot afford it right now. Whereas the objection is trust. What that actually means is that a client can say that, this property is too expensive, but whereas they've sized you up and they feel as though they don't want to buy from you because they don't trust you. Now, what I'm trying to say in essence is that if a client fills out a form and says that, oh, I'm going to make the payment, I'll make the transfer tomorrow, and they don't make it, it could be one of two things. It could be the fact that they forgot, which is 2% probability, and it could be the fact that they just didn't want to buy from you. It could also be the fact that maybe they saw something cheaper elsewhere and they bought it. So my point is that there are some things that are outside of your control. Now, the things within your control as a salesperson is to do the best possible job, ensure that you know your onions, pitch the product properly, give information to the client and the prospect, and hope that they come to that buying decision by themselves. There are some things that you cannot force. You cannot really dip your hands in somebody's pockets and bring out money from them to buy a product. Now, what I'm saying in essence is that, look, if somebody says they are going to buy and they don't buy, there's some things that are not in your control. You might never know the real reason why. People are complicated, emotional people and emotional beings, and you need to understand that people make different decisions for different reasons. It could be the fact that, oh, maybe the person was going through a heartbreak, they're in a bad mood, they don't feel like buying anything right now. Boom, the client disappears. So understand that sometimes there's really nothing you can do, right, to make somebody buy. Once you've done your job, you just have to leave everything in the hands of the client. Sometimes you never know the real reason why, and that's perfectly fine. So I hope that makes sense, Mr. Peter.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
You're very welcome.
Very-
So we'll take one last question before we wrap it up. Kristen, please. Last question for the day before we call it a day. I'm sure everybody has things that they want to go and do. Last question for the day.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for the value.
You're welcome.
Is
You're welcome.
My question is this: in the marketing space, I discovered that I don't know if it is a general rule, but I just want to hear from you since you are already into the system of marketing real estate.
Okay.
Is it a static system that if you reach out to 10 prospects, one must buy? When I mean reaching out to 10 prospects, among those 10 prospects, there are people that will there are people that will turn, they'll say, I'm not interested. There are people that will say, let's see what happens. And there are people that will say, I'm interested. So I'm saying, is it a static rule in the marketing system, real estate marketing system, where if we reach out to 10 persons a day, one must convert? We must surely convert one over a period of time. Is it a static rule? And then secondly, my second question is, how do you address this issue of lack of, how can I build confidence in the marketing system, in marketing, in prospecting? Because some of times you see that some of these prospects, especially these guys that have money in town, when you go to meet them, having been that you're a young guy, they tend to see you as probably, how can this young boy be selling a high ticket product like this? Especially in I'm from the southeast of Nigeria, Ebonyi State
Okay.
to be precise.
Okay.
So over here in
Okay.
our side, they take them to see, how can this young boy be marketing? This young boy be marketing the land of 50 million, a land of 200 million. I don't understand why. So they just like you said, the low trust there. So how can we build that confidence to really approach these people that has probably they have the money, but how to confidently stand before them and pitch? But listen, the confidence is really low. So how do we build it? Thank you.
Okay, so very quickly, because we're already past our time. We're already about 4 minutes after our time. So I'll answer the first question I asked, but the second question I'll prefer if you connected with me after this class so that we can have a very lengthy full conversation about it. No, you're saying something about, oh, if you reach out to 10 leads every day, is it guaranteed that one will buy? The answer is no. So if you're selling a high ticket product of, let's say you're selling a product of 1 million naira, and you go to the secondary school in your area and you prospect to like 10 boys in SS3, none of them can afford it. It means that it's not really about reaching out to people. You also have to look at the quality of people that you reach out to. Because if you are trying to sell something of 50 million, you reach out to only people on your street, 20 people in your area, and you are staying in probably a low budget environment, nobody in that your area can buy. So even if you reach out to everybody that stays in your community, it's not about the numbers, it's about the quality of the numbers. So in as much as it's a numbers game, it is also a quality game. There has to be like a mix. So understand that prospecting, there's no guarantees in marketing or sales. It's just possibilities. And it's possible that you close 1 out of 10. It's possible that you close 1 out of 300. So understand that it's not really guaranteed that you're going to close any type of number any type of day. Understand that it's possible that you don't close anyone. It's possible that you close 10 of them. So now to your second question about how to build confidence and all that, I'd prefer if you just connected with me outside of, I'll try a message, send a message on the group. I'll take it up from there. I'll send you a DM, then we can have a call probably at noon today to see how we can navigate that.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. And that will be the end of our class. Thank you so much for listening in. I hope we have a productive week. Thank you very, 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 very much. All right then.